These red and purple spots are called sha or miliaria cutaneous bleeding in traditional Chinese medicine. The method, scraping repeatedly on the surface of skin with the instrument for treatment of diseases, is called scraping therapy. The scraping therapy is an ancient method for treatment of diseases in China, having a history of more than 2,000 years. In folk, people scrap repeatedly on uncomfortable parts of the body with porcelain fragments with smooth edge, bamboo plates, china spoon, bronze coin with water and white spirit used as lubricators. When miliaria cutaneous bleeding appears, the disease will be cured and you will feel comfortable without taking any medicine. Because the therapy is simple, convenient, and effective, it has been very popular among the people. The folk scraping technique, in which scrapped regions are selected on basis of experience, lays a foundation for the late scraping therapy. In recent years, meridian theories in traditional Chinese medicine are applied to scraping therapy to guide the selection of acupoints, resulting in expanding indicators and raising therapeutic effect. In 1991, Professor Lu Jilu came to the mainland from Taiwan and gave lectures about scraping therapy for dredging meridians and healthcare all over the country. Thus, more people received convenient therapy, gradually forming meridian scraping therapy, which brings the scraping therapy to a new stage. Zhang Shouqing, a medical expert of the People's Liberation Army, has been interested in traditional Chinese medicine ever since she started her career. She was deeply attracted by the scraping therapy and began to study and research with all her strength on this ancient therapy of traditional Chinese medicine. This is the place where Professor Zhang has often visited. Traditional medical culture of several thousand years is concentrated in the ancient books. Professor Zhang always thinks that the scraping therapy is a composition of traditional Chinese medicine. It is an abundant duty for a people's military surgeon to apply the scraping therapy to better serve the mass population and to develop traditional Chinese medicine. In order to inherit and develop the scraping therapy, Professor Zhang is assiduously studying basic theories of traditional Chinese medicine and goes to everywhere to learn from famous experts in traditional Chinese medicine. In her spare time, she often visits large hospitals to learn acupuncture, moxibustion, massage, and auricular therapy, and to explore new methods of using acupoints and meridians for treatment of diseases. In order to probe into mysteries of the scraping therapy, Professor Zhang studies theories of microcirculation. Through practice of long time, she explains firstly scientific mechanisms of scraping therapy, so as to lay a firm theoretical basis for the scraping therapy. Microcirculation includes blood in vessels, tissue fluid outside vessels, and lymph as well. Scraping therapy can promote microcirculation, speeding up blood flow in the vessels, and accelerating the exchange of substances among blood, tissue fluid, and lymph. In the practice of scraping therapy, Professor Zhang finds that, although the meridian scraping therapy has a better therapeutic effect, the second treatment can only be applied when the miliaria cutaneous bleeding disappears, 5 to 7 days after the first therapy. It cannot be continuously applied, and the therapeutic effect will be influenced, and it is also inconvenient in winter. Therefore, she applies bio-holographic theories to the scraping therapy, scraping alternately various holographic acupoint areas on the exposed parts of the body to treat diseases of various organs. The therapy is not limited by environment and seasons, and also patients can receive the therapy every day so as to increase greatly therapeutic effect. The scraping plate with a specific shape is a national patent invention of Professor Zhang Shouqing. Also, she creates many kinds kinds of scraping manipulation methods, making scraping therapy more convenient to apply and easy to learn. Through medical practice of long period, Professor Zhang created holographic meridian scraping therapy in 1995, which is a comprehensive method of prevention and treatment of disease, combining diagnosis, treatment, prevention of diseases, and health care.
刮痧疗法是中国医药学的组成部分。
Scraping therapy is a composition of traditional Chinese medicine. It has a history of more than 2,000 years and goes through 3 stages. That is, from ancient plain scraping therapy to wide application and constant increase in folk, and the 3rd generation of scraping therapy with Professor Zhang Xiuqing as leader. It is convenient, simple, and practical, and it has a good clinical effect. It will play an important role in preventing disease, treating disease, and health care for human race. It is worthy to be popularized. The holographic meridian scraping therapy immediately received warm welcome. It is applied widely to treat common diseases. It gets instant results for headache, fever, cervical spondylopathy, scapulohumeral periarthritis, lumbar crural pain, hyperplasia of mammary glands, and so on. It has obvious therapeutic effects on hypertension, heart disease, sequelae of apoplexy, asthma, diabetes, and gastrointestinal diseases. The method created by Professor Zhang opens a new way for non-pharmacotherapy.
创研的这个川洗刮痧这个疗法啊。
The holographic meridian scraping therapy created by Professor Zhang is the fruit of continuous exploration of traditional Chinese medicine. Scraping therapy appeared early in traditional Chinese medicine, but it was until the 17th century when it was recorded in a book titled Sha Zhang Yu Hen. And based on that, Professor Zhang combined various methods of scraping therapies and developed them to a more complete extent at present. Holography and ancient diagnostic methods of traditional Chinese medicine are combined with scraping therapy to elevate diagnostic and therapeutic theories of the scraping therapy, and so as to establish a better theoretical basis for holographic meridian scraping therapy. With the popularization of the holographic meridian scraping therapy, the Asian therapy is appraised highly by the medical circle. Medical workers, especially Professor Zhang Xiuqing, created the present holographic meridian scraping therapy through systematization, exploration, and raising them to a higher level. This therapy conforms with the basic theories of traditional Chinese medicine, and its main functions are dredging channels and collaterals, regulating qi and blood, resulting in treatment of many diseases, being convenient, non-traumatic, and easy to learn. Professor Zhang Xiuqing inherits ancient traditional scraping methods and combines the ancient scraping methods with modern sciences and techniques to open a new way for development of scraping therapy. The book Holographic Meridian Scraping Therapy was published in May 1999, which is the 3rd revised edition since it was written by Professor Zhang Xiuqing and Professor Hao Wanshan in 1995. The new edition of Holographic Meridian Scraping Therapy combines meridian theories in traditional Chinese medicine with basic theories of Western medicine and bioholographic theory, with excellent in both pictures and language, explaining the profound in simple terms, being systematic, scientific, and practical. It is a medical monograph with great value. Wang Yongyan, the chief of Chinese Academy of Traditional Chinese Medicine, writes congratulations for the revised edition of holographic meridian scraping therapy. In order to develop traditional Chinese medicine and raise health levels of people, the training base for holographic meridian scraping therapy has been established in Beijing by School of Traditional Chinese Medicine, Institute of Basic Medical Theory of Chinese Academy of Traditional Chinese Medicine, and Branch of Scraping Therapy to Expel Toxins, China Research Society of Senile Health Medicine. This base is praised as a big school with no wall. When you enter the school, you would be affected by the strong study air. Among the students, there are the retired aged with graying at the temples, patients of chronic diseases, intelligentsia, common workers and peasants, and foreign friends coming from the 5 continents. Professor Zhang Xiuqing teaches them all her research achievements. She teaches not only the methods of self-treatment and self-prevention of diseases, and also trains large quantities of key members of scraping therapy. Every year, thousands of students at home and abroad completed their studies and spread holographic meridian scraping therapy all over the world. A lot of people consequently get rid of chronic diseases, and more people bring the healthy key to other people, friends, and the whole society. Because of her army career of more than 30 years, Professor Zhang Xiuqing finds it hard to part with the army, especially the soldiers of company. She has visited the root units for many times, teaching them techniques of scraping therapy and treating their wounds and diseases. In Lanzhou, capital city of Gansu province, Professor Zhang Xiuqing gave free lectures for armed police forces. The soldiers studied with high enthusiasm. Professor Zhang becomes the most popular military surgeon. In residence centers of retired staff, she answers with patients relative questions from retired cadres, treating while giving lectures, and she is praised as their close friend. She throws all her energy into her work for the state honorary guards. She is very gratified at that the scraping therapy can relieve their strain of lumbodorsal muscles. From Beijing to all over China, everywhere Professor Zhang Xiuqing went, she was warmly welcomed. In Wuhu, she gave 9 lectures, and a special hotline was opened on the local radio station to give live broadcast of her lectures. In Nanjing, patients and other people flocked in to ask for the instructions, unfolding a great upsurge of scraping therapy. Nanjing television station made a special report on that. In a few years, Professor Zhang Xiuqing has traveled to more than 20 provinces and autonomous regions, making unremitting efforts for popularizing holographic meridian scraping therapy. The therapy is welcomed by the workers, peasants, intelligentsia, cadres, medical workers, and the retired aged, because it is scientific, practical, and simple. Professor Zhang Xiuqing presented the holographic meridian scraping therapy summarized from her studies of many years at the 31st Conference of International Military Medicine in October 1996. With her live and detailed explanation and demonstration, a patient of achronesis due to lumbago restored to normal immediately after the treatment. The audience burst into cheers, expressing their incomparable reverence for traditional Chinese medicine and high praise for Zhang Xiuqing and her holographic meridian scraping therapy. In April 1999, the first World Conference of New Creation Medicine was held in Beijing. Professor Zhang Xiuqing presented a new way of non-pharmacotherapy, holographic meridian scraping therapy, and won the approvals of the participants. In November 1997, Professor Zhang Xiuqing presented acupuncture and moxibustion with no needle, a new holographic meridian scraping therapy, at the academic conference of the 10th anniversary of World Federation of Acupuncture and Moxibustion Societies. In April 1998, Professor Zhang Xiuqing gave a series of 22 lectures about holographic meridian scraping therapy on the Central People's Broadcasting Station, evoking warm acclamations of the audience. On December 19th of 1998, China's Central Television Station televised a special documentary entitled Unique Skill in China to introduce holographic meridian scraping therapy to audience at home and abroad, showing the treasure of traditional Chinese medicine. Due to her distinguished contribution to traditional Chinese medicine, Dr. Zhang Xiuqing is engaged as professor at various medical schools and holds the